Are we on?
Yes.
Is the place dry?
It reeks.
What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to hashtag PBT Tuesday Night Live number 18. Wow. And boy, do we have a show for you today. And it's all coming from the My PBT Network studio, brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men. IV vitamin infusion therapy, testosterone, COVID test, sermorelin. Man, we need to tell you more about the sermorelin because, man, it is just so beneficial for you. If you're a man, it'll help you burn fat, gain muscle, get lean, and make you feel good, sleep better, heal faster. It's just crazy stuff, man. Sermorelin, Sermorelin. If you do make an appointment with Dr. T's, make sure you ask him about that. Call 956-441-2188. And on Thursdays, it's for women. And they can do wonders for you, girls. Fantastic. Make an appointment today. Dr. T's Primary Care for Men. Also, the law office of Rene Flores, hashtag DWI expert. If you have any trouble with the law, any sort of trouble, he's one of the best defense attorneys in the business. And he's a DWI expert. If you're struggling with a DWI or a few of them, or you know somebody that's in some DWI trouble, he is the one to contact, man. Este sabe de todo, papá. Asústame. Te ayuda con los DWIs. It's the law office of Rene Flores. El número es 956-316-1991. That's 956-316-1991. Put that on your contacts under DWI expert. And anytime you need it or you know somebody that does, you give them that number and call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, including holidays when lots of people end up in jail with DWIs. And then this weekend, it's NFL. You're going to start partying and watching the games. You might get in trouble. Get this number down, okay? And go Cowboys.
Woo!
Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Man, that is so important, especially tonight's show. Okay, we've got Pete Astudillo coming up later on in the program, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be an amazing show, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you can copy the link of the program, put it on your social media, and let everybody know, man, there's a great show going on YouTube. It's one of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the United States of America and Mexico and Canada. Okay? Hashtag PVT. And, well, we've got my lovely partner in crime. How you doing, sweetheart? Rally, our producer, PVT producer.
I'm doing well. After what happened earlier, I'm a little flustered. I'm not going to lie, but I'm here, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's a beautiful Tuesday. I say it's a beautiful day every day because it truly is. We're here. We are chatting with our hashtag PBT family. So, I mean, it can't get any better than this. So, hi to everyone out there watching us. We love you guys.
Flustered sounds like one of those Chaz Corona words.
Yeah.
Like phenomenal.
No. Chaz's word would have been discombobulated.
Discombobulated.
That's what I meant to say, but I was like, no, I'm going to sound too Chazzy, right?
Yeah.
So I said, I'll just say flustered.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our pit bull's walking around in here, and he's smelling the floor, smelling the equipment. Earlier during Tetera Tuesday, the mix at the 6 o'clock hour, a beer exploded in the studio.
Literally.
And in front of the cameras while we were live. It's hilarious. And you need to check it out. Okay, so after the show, you can check out the hashtag PVT Tetera Tuesday mix that we do every Tuesday. And the dog's like, what the hell is this smell? There's beer everywhere. It went all the way up to the ceiling, folks.
Yeah, someone was asking on the chat box, Riley, did you get everything cleaned up? I tried to as fast as I could, but I had to get dressed and all of that for tonight. And I had a couple of things to organize on our laptop, so I tried my best.
We're gonna need a deep cleanse in this place, a deep cleanse, because huele a pura vironga. Riley comes out of the bedroom and says, "It smells like a bar and a party," and it's like,
I was like, it smells like I don't know what I said.
Well, not the bedroom, but she came out of the dressing room, here in the studios,
the green room,
the
green room.
Also tonight, ladies and gentlemen, besides Pete Astudillo coming up in just a little while, we are going to be talking in just a few minutes with Nano Ramirez, a promoter here in South Texas, to ask him about what's going on with the concert industry. So this COVID has really impacted the concert industry, and we haven't seen live concerts in a while. And as a matter of fact, we had tickets to go see a concert he was promoting with Intocable and then Coetzel and 4th of July, and they got closed down. So we're going to ask him and see what's going on, because there are concerts going on that I heard about
in Texas.
Yeah. So I want to ask him, I had a friend, camarada. He said, hey, no me, acá están haciendo concert. Que la chingada, ¿entiendes? So I think if anybody knows anything about that, it's Nano Ramirez, who's been doing concerts and dances since the early 70s, 72, So we'll talk to him in just a little bit. Plus, reminder to join our Patreon club. A $25 pledge gets you a special hashtag PVT t-shirt and sticker, and you have the chance of winning in our hashtag PVT weekly drawing for prizes, okay? And we do that every Saturday night. We'll pull out some names, and we've got all kinds of cool stuff. Patreon.com is the website, and you search Rock and Roll James PVT, and if you become a $25 member, make sure to message us a t-shirt size and address so we can mail you your merchandise immediately, okay? We also have the Cash App, ladies and gentlemen. The Cash App is $sign Rock and Roll James, okay?
Yes.
Now, we have a new shirt that you can order through Cash App, okay? It's this one right here, okay? And it's $30, and if you do send us the Cash App, the $30, on the messages, make sure to add the size of your t-shirt and your address, okay? Because when you Cash App us money, you can put a little message on there, okay? Now, we have small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL, okay? And these are awesome. You should have seen us while Riley was cleaning up the studio. I was like, I can't help you right now. I was getting into the accordion, So, if you want it, go ahead and do it. We have a limited supply, okay? Venmo at Rock and Roll James as well, so you can do that with Venmo, but not the shirts. The shirts is just Cash App. Venmo is if you want to send us $5-10, whatever. Okay. All right. So, what time is it, baby?
It is 39.
Okay, we're gonna call him a little earlier so we can talk with him a little more. And we're talking about Nano.
Yes.
And then. See what he's. Nano, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a huge fan of the show. He walks every afternoon. We'll talk to him about it, man, in a little bit. Let's give him a call.
I do want to send a shout out to everyone on the hashtag PVT chat box. Eva Ruiz, Vanessa Trevino, Raymond Rose, Alfredo Rios, Victor Martinez.
You have reached the voicemail box.
¿Qué pasó, ay, Nano? Come on, answer the phone, man. Come
Ozzy Zavala, Eva Ruiz, and Laura Ohio. Thank you guys. And also Ali's World
You
10.
have reached the voicemail
He's
box.
probably trying to call back.
Maybe. So don't forget, on Thursdays we have Throwback Thursday, okay? And that's at 6 o'clock. And we usually do those classic tunes, English. We did 1978, class of 1978 this past Thursday. And it was a whole lot of fun. Let me try Nano again. Let's see if maybe he's on the other line. You never know. Talking some business with somebody,
You have reached the voicemail box.
Okay. Well, let me send him a text.
While you do that, can I send a happy birthday?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we want to send a special happy birthday to our wonderful friend in Conroe, Texas. His name is Gilbert Vasquez, who is, by the way, Ali Vasquez's dad. So have a wonderful birthday. It will be tomorrow. So at midnight, we want to be the first ones to tell you happy birthday, Gilbert. So happy birthday. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, week, month. And this is from your family, your daughters, your suegros, and us, your PBT family. So happy, happy, happy birthday.
Okay, we'll try him one more time. If he doesn't answer, well, we'll just move on.
You have reached the voicemail
Probably
box.
walking.
Wow.
Or he's making a deal over the phone, on a concert.
Yeah.
He's probably bringing down Kiss or something.
Okay. Well, let's
He'll
go to.
call us back.
Yeah, let's go to Pete, man. We'll just go ahead and call Pete since he never answered over here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
And maybe Pete and Nano are both in on the joke.
Yeah,
Sal in the house.
man.
says,
If I get Pete's voicemail,
That's it. It's over, guys.
we ain't got a show tonight. I told Pete I was gonna call him at 9:05.
So this is So you're a little early.
Yeah.
You're a little too early.
Hi, you reached Pete
Oh,
Oh my
no. What
goodness.
is going on with this
I don't know,
guy?
but I do want to send a shout out to Noe Garza, Victor Martinez, Sal in the house, Big D, Wrestling God, JC El Jefe, who always tunes in to watch us and to listen to us. Gilbert Diaz asked, Rally, were you able to clean everything up? I tried my best. So thank you guys so much. And I do want to send a shout out also to our first hashtag PBT chatter, I guess you could say. And that was Juan Perez. So he was our first person on the chat.
Un shout out. All right.
Ali says, we laughed so much today with Rock. Rally, your scream made us crack up too.
That's what I was saying.
Sorry, guys.
I was cracking up with
I
that.
just couldn't hold it in. It was just, oh my goodness.
Try Pete one more time.
And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, man, I'm going to have to clean up all this mess. Pick up, Pete.
Is this phone connected to call? Yeah, right?
Yellow.
Hey, Pete! What's going on, bro?
¿Qué pasó, rock and roll?
Dude, we got your voicemail just now, dude.
What?
You have one of the most popular voicemails in the world, dude.
I do.
Yeah, I just finished calling you right now, and because we're calling Nano. You know Nano, right?
Yes, no.
Nano. And I told Nano, I'm going to call you around 8:40, 8:45. So, I'm getting his voicemail. They hit, ow. Okay, well, let's just go to Pete. But I told Pete I was going to call him around 9. So we call you, and we get the voicemail, ow. And then,
But right now?
yeah, right now, dude, did it ring or no?
No. That's what I'm saying. I have it literally on the phone with me.
Wow.
And that's kind of weird.
Well, there must be something going on with the phone then, man. I kind of thought so, man.
Pues,
Hi.
Lo que pasa es que estoy bien cerquita del río, vato, por
Ya
eso.
sé. Necesitas uno de esos, ¿cómo se llaman? Los walkie-talkies. Click, 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 click. Remember when they used to use those? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got Nano on the other. You know what? Let me call you back, all right, Pete? I'm going to call you back in about 10, 15 minutes. Nano's on the other line calling me.
But when you come back, are we going to be live?
Yeah, we're going to be live, brother.
Okay, está bueno.
Órale, cara. ¿Qué pasó, Nano?
Yeah, but I was calling. I wasn't getting your number. I was listening to the show
Uh-huh.
that I wouldn't answer, and I would hear it ring, but it wasn't ringing on my phone.
Yeah, no, dije, I don't think Nano's flip phone is working right now.
No. And then I was listening to your live, man. It said, it's ringing. How come it's not ringing on my phone?
Yeah.
So I looked for the number when you told me earlier what number you would be calling from. So that's how I got the number right now.
Yeah, and I called Pete right now because you didn't answer, and I said, well, let's try Pete, and then Pete I got Pete's voicemail too, and then I called Pete again, and he answered, and I said, I just called you and I got your voicemail. He goes, what? The phone didn't ring, so there must be something going on with the phone over here, man.
Yeah.
So how's it going? Nano, how you doing, bro?
Pues aquí estamos, no nos vamos.
Hey, I appreciate your support for the show, man. You're one of the guys that listens to us all the time, ¿verdad?
Oh, absolutely, man. I go walking, jogging like maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and I can't do without your show. That's what keeps me running that extra mile, and the extra mile is listening to the show. Before I know it, man, I already did 3 miles. Jesus.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. You know what, man? We've been having a lot of fun with this show, and it's just amazing, the YouTube and the people that we're reaching. I know all over the United States of America. Who would have thought back in the day when I was doing FM radio, and I still am here in the Rio Grande Valley, that I'd have some sort of connection with the entire nation now, you know?
Unbelievable, Rock. But you're doing those shows. I'm a big, huge, 100% fan. I'm trying to spread the word. Everybody that I run across is start listening to the show, and surprisingly, a lot of people already know about your shows.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
You know, you've been a promoter for a long time, man. We talked here on the show one time. You sat down here with me, and we talked about, your roots and, and growing up with your dad, and your dad having a recording studio inside the house, and asking you to go outside and make sure there aren't any cars coming when he turned on record, so the recording wouldn't get the vibrations of the vehicles passing by the house. And I mean, you've just got some amazing roots here with the music industry, and then you went off and you joined the military, and then you came back, and then you started the concerts and actually dances in 1972 at what was once the McAllen Civic Center, which no longer exists. And then you ended up starting your own place. You bought your little piece of land, and you started your big concert venue called La Villarreal Convention Center. And you brought down who's who of everybody in the industry, man. So you've been in this business for a long, long time. Have you ever gone through anything like what we're going through this year, man?
Never. As a matter of fact, October the 19th, this coming October the 19th, I'll have 49 years when I did my first concert. So I've been promoting for 49 years. And nothing even close, not even 9/11. 9/11 happened. I had the Que Locos comedy show that was going to be performing for the first time in the Villarreal that week. So we had just to reschedule for 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. But to be off this long, I think my last show that I did was Felipe Esparza back in February. So I've been without a show since.
Yeah. And how are you making it? I'm sure you were used to the income, and not just the income of, from the shows and the promotions and all that, but also the energy that it takes, to do those shows. I'm sure that's what keeps you going, man. You know what I mean? Just the whole idea of putting a show together and making it succeed, and then the night of the event and seeing all the people, and then seeing, and it's just like you're missing all that now. How are you coming along with that type of situation right now?
I do have something that's backing me up, keeping me sane, is that I've had enough time to try to finish up that infamous the Villarreal 30-year history, the book. Mm-hmm. And that's what's keeping me busy. But at the same time, I joined forces. About 2 years ago, we joined forces with 4 other promoters. I call them the new kids on the block. 2 of them, and then one an old friend of mine from San Antonio. We all got together, and we did the last year and a half runs at the Far Event Center at the Bert Eichmann Arena. Mm-hmm. But then all this came crashing down. 2 weeks before we got shut down, we had sold out shows. March 27, 28, we had John Party.
Yeah.
Sold out. 2 weeks before, man, we got shut down. And then they gave me the rescheduled date for October, and I was arguing with the agent. It's still October. Give me a date in June, man. October's too far away.
Yeah.
And here we are. And now they're rescheduling me officially. I'm going to be announcing the new dates for Jump Party. Mm-hmm. But would you believe out of those 5,500 tickets, I haven't had not one single refund?
Wow, no, because he's a hot artist right now, man. Everybody wants to see Jump Party.
Yeah, I think they know if they get a refund, those resale tickets are going to cost double the price, so they're hanging on to their tickets. But in the meantime, we got together, stopped planning, what can we do? And like every other promoter in the United States, basically doing the same thing, is started out with the driving concerts.
Yeah.
We did our first show in El Paso 3 weeks ago with Intocable.
Now the drive-in concerts, is where people go park their car like a drive-in, and you put a stage in the front, and people watch the show from their vehicle, right?
Yes, they can bring in all their concessions. We don't sell any concessions on the parking area, and you can get out of your car, get your chairs, and put it in front of your car and sit in your area. Yeah. Every other, you see, you got the parking lot. So we'll put one vehicle on a parking space, and then we leave the space in front and each side empty, and the next car will be on the other parking space. So it gives you like a 10 feet social distancing.
Yeah.
And the one in El Paso went great. We had about 350 cars, represents around 1,500 people. And you know what was amazing about it? You know what the crowd was doing for get the band back on encore? They were honking the horns.
Wow.
the cars honking the horns. It was amazing. It was fun. So the band came back and did like another 20-minute encore. Then we had Cable and Judge Abbott scheduled for Midland last week and in San Antonio, but then the hurricane we had to reschedule those dates. San Antonio, the Fremont Auditorium, they were using it for evacuate the hospital patients from Galveston, San Antonio.
Yeah.
So we have rescheduled those two shows for next weekend. And we've been working on in the Valley. As you were part of our conversation, when we had already we were on sale for the 4th of July weekend with Coet one day and Intocable the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the contract with the county. We had we're following the CDC guidelines we were going to take the temperature of every person that came in.
That was going to be at the, now, just to let our viewers know, that was going to be at the pavilion, the beautiful pavilion on South Padre Island, and it belongs to the county, and that was the issue there, right?
Right. It's the county, the Cameron County Amphitheater.
Yeah.
And we had Cole Wetzel scheduled for July 3rd and Intocable for the 4th. We had a press conference. We had the county commissioners was the MC of the press conference. Chamber Commerce went on sale. Everything was going great. But a week later, I think the Trump calls it the China virus. Got a little bit. The situation got a little bit here in the Valley, so so they shut us down. And we've still been trying to do something here in the Valley, here in the McAllen metropolitan area. We're looking at 3 sites right now, and we're kind of excited at one, which is the HEB Park. They're having the Toros soccer team. It's going to have live fans this coming Saturday.
Okay. So
it's going to be a trial, see how it's going to work, and if everything goes smooth.
Yeah.
We're in talks with the HEB Park to be able to host. We had about 3 or 4 artists that we got on standby to play here in the Valley, but not only here in the Valley. We got Midland, San Antonio, and El Paso.
Now,
we're doing those gigs.
Here in the Rio Grande Valley, you all also had, speaking of the drive-ins, going back to what you were saying about when they all started honking when Intocable got off stage, and they all started. I remember going to the drive-in when we were kids, and my parents, everybody would honk the horns when the film was messing up or something, in the drive-in, the movie would cut or something, or it would black out, and all you could hear were people honking, man. And it just, when you said that, it just took me back to when I was a kid in my parents' car at the drive-in there in Mercedes, Westmore Drive-In, but they did that here in the Rio Grande Valley, and Hidalgo were you part of that as well? I think it was Intocable, and then there was Kevin Fowler and some other artists, right?
Yeah, they did a 3-day run. I think it was Intocable, Kevin Fowler, and the Eli Young Band. And there were some issues there. It was the first time something like this happened down here, and I think the city kind of shut it down for the second time around. And I don't know the details, the reasoning for it, but you do have to have if you're in the city, like in San Antonio, we were scheduled for to do it at the Alamo Dome. It's a city venue, city property, and we got shut down. So we went to the Freeman Coliseum, which is run by the county, and the county judge gave us the green light to do the show. So here in the valley, like we do it in Hidalgo or McAllen or Edinburgh or Far, I'm letting the venues get the go ahead and green light from the county judge. So we had to make a presentation on how we were going to be setting up, whether we do it at drive-in. And we got another venue where it's an outdoor venue where we set up tables, and the tables are all 10 feet apart. And the occupancy for that venue is like 3,000, but we got it down to 50%, 1,500. And also we were lucky enough to be able to host a show at the HEB Park. You know, they got the stadium seats.
Yeah.
And which is social distancing thing, groups of 6. And we'll be able to use the floor. And what we'll do on the field is draw a chalk circle every 10 feet and be able to put, fans there, about 4 or 6 fans per circle. And they're doing it in Europe already. We got pictures and bios documented already on how it's set up. We're also looking at another site utilizing bicycle barricade, and you do a U, the 3 bicycle barricades, 8-foot barricades, and you separate them also 6 feet, and you can put 4 people, 6 people there. So we got about 4 options we've been working on the last 4 weeks, and we're hoping that maybe by next week we'll have something secured, and maybe have a concert in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, well, that sounds very promising, and they're saying that they might have a vaccine by October or the end of the year at least. So, it's just like you got to keep your fingers crossed. Now, is what's going on here in the Rio Grande Valley going on, because I had a friend call me from Lubbock, and he says if they're doing concerts over there, man, with 2,000-3,000 people, and then that the judge over there is like, he's not really a mask guy, and stuff like that. Are there areas that you know of that are having concerts and like regular shows?
That's the reason we're going to Midland, El Paso, San Antonio. We're going to be one of the first ones in San Antonio. San Antonio hasn't experienced any shows here through this thing we're going through, but we're being aggressive and we're trying to open up other markets. And they are like Corpus Christi, Brewster, Bar and Grill.
Yeah, Brewster's, yeah.
Brewster. They're hosting, their occupancy is about 1,000. And the way they got it set up now is they can sit inside 250. So they do an early show and late shows, a total of 500, and they do 2 days back to back. They have Judge Abbott playing, so he's playing 2 days, 4 shows. So it comes out at the end of the day, it comes out 1,000 people. So a band that's not playing, they'll take that drip.
Yeah,
they'll do it. So that's the way we were able to get also. The bands are willing to work, are giving us that COVID price.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to get it going, and they got to realize that even the production companies are struggling. Everything that takes that has to do with any type of concert event or festival. Everybody's hurting, man, especially the production companies that, you hire to put up the systems and stuff like that. Everybody's needing to work, man,
Yeah. And, the big name artists, the big caliber artists, they're not taking it. They don't need it. They don't have the money. They have the money. They don't need to go out and risk themselves for I've had a couple of artists that, man, I don't want to go out there, get pre-COVID pricing, and then I get sick and die. Why should I?
Yeah.
I have to stay home. But there are a few bands. We're being kind of selective here. We don't have that big selection of talent that's available for this time period. I think everybody's holding off till next year. I think the shows from State Farm and Bert Ogden and McAllen Performing Arts, they all got rescheduled for 2021. Like I had Christian Castro originally set for June, got rescheduled for February. So we just keep our fingers crossed that by first of the year, maybe the vaccine, right?
Yeah.
You know, that'd be one available, and man, we don't know what's going to happen. To be honest with you, it's
Oh yeah, no. You said that this breakdown that you've had, this break that you've had, that you've been working on the Villarreal book, man. You had the first one done, and now you're working on the other years from 86, I think you said, 86 on up.
It started in 1976.
Yeah.
1977, summer 1977. I just finished yesterday, or the day before I finished 2000. So I got 7 more years to go.
Yeah. And there's people in the
6 more years to go. 6 more years to go.
In the chat box, there's people asking where can they acquire that book, man. They want that book. They want it, man. And I look, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen that book. It's amazing. It's got like so much history.
We have a copy.
Fact,
we have a copy.
it's
I believe it's right there on.
It's somewhere around
right
here.
there where those albums are. No. Over here to my right. I slid it where the albums are. Echevarria.
Oh, there it is.
There
right
you
here.
go.
All right.
Yes.
Let me show them Nano the
Yes.
book, because Nano left me one, and it's the La Villarreal, and in the back it has like a montage of pictures of all the artists that have been there. But the inside is what's amazing.
It's incredible
because it's got the tickets, it's got pictures. I mean, this book is just out of this world, dude. Motley Crue, Triumph, Little Joe, Waylon Jennings, Tone de la Rosa, and, you know, the ticket, and he's got the ticket stubs. And I mean, this book is something that's just absolutely amazing. Nano, and I would imagine that people would buy it immediately. Is there any place where they can get the book that you left me here?
Well, no, that was just a sample of the first 10 years. I think I mentioned to you that I wanted to see, you know, I'd been working on the computer and the book. I didn't know what the book was going to look like, a finished product. So I had it printed out to see what it was going to look like. And I think jokingly I said I had to cut it down and not I was going to have more than 300 pages. Well, I've gone through, what is it now, 21 years, and I'm already past 300 pages.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
now the collector side of the book, that's going to be kind of expensive. The 3-set book is going to cost them like $150. That's going to be for special situations if anyone wants to buy it. But I've been talking to a friend of mine. I did a sample of a smaller version, a soft cover, not a hardcover. It would only cost around maybe $35 compared to $150, and that's going to be affordable. But going back to the pictures and the stuffs, and it's the stories.
You've kept everything, man. I mean, you've got everything. You got the Sister Sledge concert was the very first concert I went to in my life. This is like it says here 1980, somewhere around there. And then Shalimar, remember I told you, babe, that Shalimar, the singer, one of the singers that did the moonwalk for the very first time I had ever seen it. Mm-hmm. He's right here. There's a picture. So, I mean, this guy, Judas Priest, Motley Crue, this book is amazing, man. It is amazing, bro.
Hey, Metallica.
Yeah.
AC/DC. Hey.
Yep.
$7.50 a ticket for AC/DC.
Yeah. Remember, dude, that's crazy. But so you're working on the book, and man, like I said, there's nowhere to get it. You said, or where?
No. As soon as I finish it, I'll probably take. I think I'll probably be done with it probably by the end of the year. By the end of this year, I should have it finished. I got, like I said, 6 more chapters to go, 6 more years.
Yeah.
And I'm moving a lot faster. I've got basically everything organized just to boom, boom, boom on the book. What's taking time is, inserting the pictures and the tickets and then the stories.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stories there. And in reality, jokingly, I said it was back then when you interviewed me 2 years ago. How about the book? Could you believe it was 2 years ago?
Wow.
And,
yeah, because you came on the show.
Yeah.
You
2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Another thing that's really cool that's in here is you have all the schedules, like, for the whole year of that. Every single show is, like, it's documented. Every single show from the 70s on up, man. I mean, you have just, I mean, I have to admire you, Nano, for keeping records of every single thing that happened in your promotional career, man. I mean, this is just amazing. And not many people, you know, they tend to have that idea to hold on to things and keep, keep it for later. Because you've got a historical book here, bro. And I can't wait to see the second one, man.
But, still myself, I'm at all. When I start a new chapter and I see the bands or the artists that perform, I'm even in shock myself at how I said, oh my God, I can't believe we've got all this talent. In 1986, I ended up the chapter by saying I listed all the bands that played in 1986, and there was something like 50 major top country, rock and roll, Tejanos, comedians, and somebody still would say, man, no big talent ever comes to the Valley.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. That was always, no, nunca traen shows para lo de, pues ahí está el libro, bro, se te dice todo, carnal. Yeah.
And when you see that list at the end of that chapter of 1986, you'll be amazed just in 1 year of all the talent that played at the Villarreal. It's unbelievable.
I can't wait to see the chapters of the 90s when you had Maz and La Mafia and Selena and Emilio Navaira. Remember the parties, Emilio Navaira there when he performed at the Villarreal? I mean, we just had so much fun during the 90s in the heyday of the big Tejano industry, and Little Joe and Ruben Ramos. I mean, people were just eating that stuff up so huge. Your shows were just like, the Villarreal was one of the best places to go check out a show, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and people would take it for granted after a while, and says, oh, Villarreal can go see a show anytime there, and not realizing what they had in hand here in McAllen, here in the Valley. As in the book, I do feature I dedicate like one page to a major artist. Like I had one page for Juan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put all his dates and pictures and tickets there. I'll put one Rocío Turcal. I have one. I had to redo some of the pages on that book that you have, where I isolated AC/DC and Santana. I had them grouped like too many events in one page. But the one that's taken more than one page, I got 3 pages dedicated, is to Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Selena, there's a lot of stories there with Abraham Quintanilla too. Mm-hmm. He's part of the stories with Selena.
Yeah.
And one of the stories, the last time she played in 1995, I have the newspaper article Festiva that had Julie Brown playing Reynosa the same night as Selena.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, before ticketing service we talked about J.R. Masson started the first electronic ticketing. So back then, I had to leave hard tickets. I ticket at different outlets in the Valley. And one of the stores, I was leaving tickets, CNC Music on North 10 McAllen. And it was Selena. It was in February the 3rd, 1995. It was 5 o'clock, going to the VRL, stop by, pick up tickets. And there was this lady there. She was undecided to buy a Julie Brown ticket or Selena ticket. And she said, well, I got to go, man. Either just got to make up your mind like quick. I'm running late. And she said, I'll take a Julie Brown. And Reynosa, she might never play again here in the Valley. And Selena plays every 6 months. And that was Selena's last gig.
Yeah.
So, I've never forgotten that.
Man.
And then 2 weeks later, Carlos Guzman and I go to San Antonio and at the Tejano Music Awards, or last awards, in the Tejano Music Awards, and Carlos Guzman and I present her with Album of the Year. So that was amazing. And then
I was
4 weeks later.
Yeah, I was there at that event when I saw you all do that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, Nano, I appreciate you taking the time to let us know what's going on, and we'll be looking forward to those announcements. As soon as you got something going on, let me know so I can let our hashtag PVT audience know about any shows coming down the pipe, okay? It don't matter what kind of show it is. I mean, because we play everything here, man, not just Tejano and Norteño. I mean, we do country and stuff like that during our mixes, on Thursday and stuff. So I just like to inform my audience and let them know what's going on, man, okay?
What's surprising about your show, the quality that comes out. When I got my earphones and I'm running, and you got the Thursday night when you were playing the disco music.
Yeah.
the sound, the stereo, the way the stereo comes out of your ears, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I love.
The Top Dollars days, the Big Apple days when we used to play nothing but top 40 music.
Yeah, and I love going through those years, man, and listening to a lot of people freak out. They're like, man, rock knows a lot of music. I'm like, I get into everything, man. I've grew up with all kinds of music, and I just love being able to play music and having the fans on the chat zone, our chat zone here that are on live, just throwing out names of songs and stuff, and then I'll throw one on, and so it becomes a really great gathering of people that just love music. Those shows, man, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But Nano, I'll let you go because I got Pete Astudillo waiting for me in Laredo, so I'm gonna give him a call and we'll get back with you in a couple of months to see how everything's going. Okay.
In closing, I just want to tell you that your producers, your daughter, and your sons, they make the show awesome, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable talent you have in the house.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Nano, I'm in heaven with these, having my family here, being part of the show, and then letting everybody in with my family. I mean, everybody gets to know us and meet us and see how we really are and who we are. And we're just real. I mean, we're just ourselves, and it's knowing people like you and knowing the people that I associated with that made me who I am, bro. And I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate what you've done for the music industry, and I appreciate what you've done for the entertainment industry here in the Rio Grande Valley. Nano, I really do, man. Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Say hi to your wife from us.
Teacher, I know what you're going through, Ali.
Oh my goodness.
The teachers.
Just tell her that I'm praying for all the teachers and that I miss seeing you guys. So hopefully we can see each other soon.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely, all teachers do deserve a pay raise. I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do, man. Honestly. Orale, Nano, thank you so much.
Strike.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Good night.
Andale. Dios te bendiga. Andale, man. What an amazing person, man. Nano Ramirez, man. He's been around for a long time. Let's call Pete. He's probably laying in bed looking at his phone, waiting.
Yes, a quick shout out to Alfredo Rios' sister, Benita from California. So thank you for joining us. I think she's new to the chat box, so thank you.
All right. That was fun talking to Nano. Ahora el puro voicemail, chinga.
Hi, you reached Pete Astudillo.
Oh, my gooses. Someone in the chat box says that Pete Astudillo is singing Como Te Extraño to you because you hung up on him. So he's in bed singing that song to you.
He did that on purpose.
All right.
He's going to answer right now. Órale, Pete. But he said the phone wasn't ringing.
I know, it's weird.
Yellow.
Hello, Mr. Pete Astudillo. Sorry about, man. I was telling my wife, Pete's probably laying in bed just looking at his phone screen, just waiting for us to call him.
Believe it or not, I was, man.
Yeah, so how have you been, Pete, man? How's it going, bro?
Compadre, first of all, Rock, good to hear your voice, brother. It's been too long, and I'm good, man. I can't complain. Aquí todavía estoy aquí en el mera frontera.
Yeah.
Pues también, I don't know, is this considered the valley still or no? Ya no.
Yeah, well, it's South Texas. I mean,
Yeah?
Yeah.
South Texas, puro South Texas acá. Puro dirty South, Laredo, Texas.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to ask you, you were born in Laredo and you raised in Laredo, right?
Yes, well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I was born about 6 miles. Sometime back in the day, of course, the city limits have changed. Before anything, big hello to anybody out there listening. En donde sea que estén escuchando, un saludo muy cordial, and thank you for your time. And, pues, como digo, I was born about 5-6 miles out of Laredo. It was a ranchito called Las Palmas.
Orale.
And my dad was a ranchero there. He used to work in the, he was a farmer. Le ayudaba ahí a un ranchero. So my family lived there in the ranch. And I was born in Las Palmas Ranch, dude.
Is that like north or south? I mean, north or west? It can't be south, right?
Actually, there's a little town now there. It's called Rio Bravo.
And but it's in the United States, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's right on the river. But back then, when I was born there, it was a ranch. It was called Las Palmas Ranch.
Uh-huh.
But now, after all these years, there's a little town called Rio Bravo there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I was born. And then, of course, once I was born, and they did everything here in Laredo for me, so I'm technically from Laredo. So
yeah,
that's the whole thing. But I was kind of in the outskirts of Laredo back in the day. But I was born, raised, and I lived here all my life. Went to school here and did all the normal stuff you would do. I mean, I had a pretty normal childhood.
Yeah.
Because I was into music at a very early age. Because my family doesn't come from a musical background, so I was never inclined to do it. Even though I knew I loved it and I had a passion for it, I just didn't know how to go about it. So I never really did.
Mm-hmm.
So I led a really normal life, man, all the way through high school. And I graduated I went to next time high school, like in Laredo.
Yeah.
And then I graduated from there. And then I went to the junior college for a couple of years and, did the whole thing. And after that,
when you were going,
my family was,
when you were going to school, what kind of student were you, man? Were you pretty, were you a kind of student that was, out there, or you were a little more, closed in a little bit, or you, what were you doing? What were your likes, when you were in school?
You know what? I was really normal in school. And actually, I was kind of shy, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a short guy, so you can only imagine how short I was in elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I come from migrant parents. We used to be migrants, man. My family,
Mm-hmm.
we used to be migrants for many years. So I went to the migrant school, which in that time were kind of rough, man.
Yeah, they pick on you. Would they pick on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they really didn't, and I think I got away with it because I was kind of nice to everybody, and I didn't really mess with anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a good student too. So I had the teachers always would back me up, and then once I got out of elementary, then I started going to the normal junior high. Because the thing is, we used to go to the migrant schools because I don't know if you remember this, or even it probably still happens now. Back in the day, if you were a migrant, around April, they would take you out of school to go work, and so you would the school year wouldn't be over,
Mm-hmm.
and we wouldn't even start the school year either because we would still be working out. We used to go to Colorado and Wyoming and Idaho, Montana.
Yeah.
So if I would start school, I would leave school here, and I would finish school wherever whether it be Colorado or whatever,
Yeah.
and then I would start school in Idaho, and then I would come back to Texas and
Yeah.
continue here. So. It was, what? It was interesting. It was a rough life. We sent beets, and we did the potatoes up in Idaho. My family did. I'm the youngest of 8. So, in all honesty, I mean, I was probably the one that worked the least in the fields because I was so young.
Are you the baby of the house?
I'm the baby, man.
Yeah.
Viejón de la fregada, pero baby.
Eres el bebito. Oye, Dad, but, it wasn't easy and it was kind of hard, but, man, those days were so different, I mean, it was like family and just, and experience. It was an experience that not many people were able to experience, and
that's what I was... That's what I was gonna tell you, man. That it was a really hard life, and like I said, I'm not even gonna lie and say, I was in the field since I was 5. No, when you get around 10, 11, that's when they would start putting you to work.
Mm-hmm.
I know child labor laws are not gonna be happy to hear that.
Hey, te quitaban todo el cheque, Dad.
Sí, todo el cheque. Oye. So, no, the thing is, like I said, since I was the youngest, I was the one that got to work the least because I came of age and then we stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But it was really cool in the sense that, man, I experienced so much. I got to see so much travel. Like we would start up in Colorado, then we head up into Wyoming and Montana, go through Yellowstone Park. I mean, it was an adventure every time we travel. Y pues toda la familia juntos, and we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner together every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was hard work, but it was really. And I know it sounds like I'm making it up, but it really was a good life, man. I really had a good childhood, even though that it was a rough childhood. We didn't have much, man. We were poor, but we didn't know that, and we had a blast.
Yeah, man, we didn't need much. And would you all like put plywood on the windows before you left and stuff? Because I remember as a kid when I'd go around the neighborhoods, or there'd be homes with plywood all over the windows, and you knew they were up north working.
No. We never put anything because we were the ones that used to rob the neighborhood. No, the thing is, usually, like when we would leave, usually like a cousin would stay at the house, or
okay.
As my brother, and as a matter of fact, as my older brothers started getting older, my oldest brother, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, and he got a good job here in town. So he was the first one that said, no, ya no quiero ir. Es mucho guato. La fregata canija. So he would stay back. And then my second brother, oldest brother, he got married. So he would also come and check on the house. And it kind of went like that. I think the last year that we went, which was in 76, it was only out of the 8, only 5 of us, of the siblings, went to work. And that was the last year we went. And after that, my family got into the restaurant business, which once again utilized all the family for free labor.
Yeah. It will work for meals.
No, my dad had a system. He goes, how can I get them all to work for free?
Yeah.
Oye,
¿y cómo se llamaba el restaurante de tu papá y tu mamá?
The first restaurant that we had was actually like a hole-in-the-wall dive. We were the original diners, drive-ins, and dives. You know
those are the best, bro.
We were that one. We were like that dive restaurant, and we were we were part of this rinky-dinky little hotel called the Safari Motel. So we were at the Safari restaurant inside the Safari Motel, and we did that from 76. And it started doing really well for us, man. So we opened up another restaurant. And that one we called him, like my dad's name was Pedro, like myself. So we called that one Don Pedro's.
Okay.
So we had Safari on the northern, a little bit northern, and Don Pedro's a little more on the south side. And then I did that. I was going to school, then I would get out of school and go wash dishes. And after I learned to cook a little bit, I would prep food, and then I became a cook at my dad's restaurant, or the family restaurant. And everybody did that. We all did that. And even when I graduated from high school, my first 2 years of college, I would go to college in the morning and go to work in the restaurant at night.
Yeah.
And then actually, believe it or not, after 2 years of college, I dropped out because one of my older brothers, he goes, why don't we open up a restaurant in Colorado? I said, let's do it, man. So we opened up a restaurant in Colorado. And I did that for about 2 years. And it was then when I said, you know what, I need to, because like I said, the music thing was never part of my life per se, but I just had this passion for it. And I knew I loved it. And as a matter of fact, not a lot of people knew that I sang or wrote because it was very personal. So after I did the restaurant thing in Colorado for a couple of years, I said, you know what, I'm going to go back to Texas. I'm going to get back in college again. And I'm going to give this music thing a shot and see what happens. You know what? I just don't want to wake up in 10 years or 20 years and say, you know what could have happened or what I could have, should have, and I don't want to regret it.
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was kind of nuts, because I had no experience. I had, nothing. I had done a couple little, mariachi competition, at the bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I started winning, so I got my confidence level up.
Yeah.
And that's when I came back to Laredo. This was like in I graduated in 82, and I did 84. So it was about 85.
Wow.
85. I said, you know what? I started with the music and doing just a local thing, aquí en Laredo.
But before that, you said you had you started that restaurant in Colorado then, huh? You did, right?
Yeah. So I came back to Laredo and I left my brother over there. Con toda la muleta.
Was it a Mexican restaurant over there?
Yeah, but Tex-Mex,
tortillas y frijoles.
Yeah, a lot of Tex-Mex, and they're typical tacos, enchiladas, envueltos, flautas.
Yeah.
We had to add burritos because in Colorado you have to add burritos. I know that's not a South Texas thing, but the norther you go, especially in Colorado, it's green chili and burritos, y que chimichangas.
Hey, right now, if you would open a Mexican restaurant in Colorado, you'd make a bundle because they legalized marijuana, bro. And
I know. I still have family that lives up there, dude.
I'll have a couple of those burritos, Pete.
That's gonna be a special blend burrito with a green sauce.
You smoke that stuff, man. You can eat a whole botana by yourself, bro. You know what I mean? So then you left Colorado. You left your brother. You came to Laredo, and you came because of the music. You're saying, right?
Yeah, because I said, you know what, I need to try this, man. Like I said, I have never really done anything. I started doing like some, like I said, doing like little. But back then it was really not karaoke, but little competitions, and I would go and I, like I said, I started winning a couple of other competitions. I said, let me try this, and I got back into college, and that's when I started, I got a voice teacher at the college, and she was really encouraging, and she's like, oh my God, you're really good. And I go, really? She goes, yes, you're really, really good. I go, I never thought I was good. I just kind of love it. I'm doing it because I love it. I didn't think I was good at it. She goes, no, you're really good. So she encouraged me to get involved with anything. She goes, you know what you need to do? And I was like about 24, ahorita más o menos. So she goes, just get involved with anything. Because if there's any like a theater production, like a local production. So I started doing anything that would allow me. At church, I started singing at church. I started doing some plays, and then I even teamed up with this lady, and I would be a wedding singer, like at the church, and sing the Ave Maria and all that. And then eventually, I met Joe Ojeda. Joe Ojeda, who, for the people that don't remember him, was Selena's keyboard player.
Yes.
And also helped out with the arrangements, and he's also a very good songwriter. So we met through a mutual friend, and we formed a little duet together.
And this is way before Selena even came into the picture.
Oh, yeah, man. This was like 1985, 86.
86.
Wow. And him and I started in 85, 86. And then we formed a little duet, and we started doing the local little scene. We started doing little parties, and, we of course, bugged our friends and see who would hire us. And then.
And what kind of music were you all doing? What kind of, was it English or Spanish?
No, Spanish, man.
Okay.
We were doing Spanish, pues aquí en Laredo, de hacer la frontera.
Sí,
if you're gonna do, and we kind of learned as we went along. Because I think the first time we ever played, we knew 10 songs, and I think we played for 3 hours.
And were they covers? What covers were you? Who were you covering?
Yeah. Dude, we were covering. At that time, of course, we were doing Juana la Cubana.
Okay.
And I think one of the first Tejano songs, because I'm not even going to lie to you, man, I was not a big Tejano fan. Or I wasn't into that onda. I was more rock and roll or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But one of the first Tejano songs that I really thought was kind of spoke to me. I mean, I knew about Little Joe, and I knew about Mas, and I knew about La Mafia. But I really wasn't like, if you would tell me, name 3 songs, I said, Las Nubes, and, maybe stop there. But the first song that kind of really spoke to me was Rene Herrera, Amor Querido. Remember that song?
Yeah, Amor Querido, Rene Herrera, good song.
And that's one of the first songs. And then David Mares, too, Fíjate. So we did a couple of Tejano songs, but it was mostly cumbias, like Juana la Cubana and Alada Sonora Dinamita, just to get the people riled up and dancing,
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. But like I said, we kind of we learned, as we continued playing, because we started getting a little busy, because one of my oldest brothers was still in the restaurant business. Actually, my family was still in the restaurant business, but he had a catering service, and he had a salon where they would do weddings, quinceañeras, whatever.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, so he started pitching me out to the parties. And since we were only 2 of us, there was only 2 of us. We were like remember the dudes back in the day from San Antonio?
The
Rebeles.
Sí, Joe Rebeles.
We were like that. Yeah, we were like that. Joe would play keyboards. We had a couple little rhythm machines. Of course, our stuff was very rinky-dinky that time.
Yeah.
But he made it work, man. So since there was only 2 of us, we would charge you extremely cheap, And hacíamos un ruidazo de la fregada, so people liked it.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of started playing here in Laredo locally.
Wow.
Mostly, more than anything, we were doing privates at my brother's place, and little backyard parties and serenatas, you name it, man. We were doing it all.
When did you start writing songs, Pete?
Pretty much as a kid, man. Since I was a kid, I always had the ability to put little. I used to write poems, and I think the first poems I wrote, like, were for my mom. Of course, your mom's your first love, so that's the person that inspired me. So I would write little poems, and then as I got older, I kind of noticed I could put melodies in my head and do it to the songs. And then when I met Joe, we kind of started messing around with writing more, and he's very good too. So we just kind of learned together, but from a very young age. I mean, I didn't know the whole structure, but I knew I could feel, this goes here, this has to rhyme with this. Yeah. It was just kind of one of those things. And as I got older, and I studied other people, and I learned from other people, I kind of got better at it, and till this day, but you never stop learning, man. You never stop learning, and the ideas for songs are. I mean, it's really hard to write a song because everything's been written about it. I mean, everything that you can imagine has been said. So how do you say it in a new way that's going to capture somebody and make them feel like that's their song written especially for them?
I think that's where you made that big change in Selena, dude. And before we go to that, I wanted to ask you, when you do write songs, do you do it on a guitar, or do you just think of some lyrics, or and think of a melody, or how does that work, man?
Well, when I write by myself, I don't play instruments, man. I don't. I know how to play a couple of chords on the guitar, but nothing to save my life. So my instrument is my voice. So the fact that I can sing, I can hear a melody, and I usually write the melody and the lyrics together, kind of, sort of, and that's where I start. And I'll get a concept, and then I'll just go from there. And then once I usually have it kind of structured, like I have two verses and the chorus, then I would get together with Joe. Back in the day, we'd get together with Joe, and you would put chords to it, and then, and then we'd have it. Yeah. But of course, as the years went on, I started writing with different people, and so you incorporate, whatever works at that moment, at that time, and it's. I mean, it's one of those things, man. I mean, I'm blessed, man. I think it's one of those God-given things that I can hear things in my head, and I can just hear melodies, and I can hear the musicality that I want in there. Yeah. And like I said, through the years, you learn. But I'll tell you this much, man. You can think you learn, you can think all of this, but there's no way that you're gonna guarantee a hit, man. That's like magic in a bottle.
Yeah. Well, you've been blessed a few times with hits, man. I mean,
but I've been extremely blessed, compadre. I've been really, really, really blessed. I've been able to work with some incredible people. So no me puedo quejar.
And it comes from your humble beginnings,
beyond
bro.
My expectations. ¿Mande?
It comes from your humble beginnings and your the way you were raised. You always worked, and you experienced. A lot of singing, a lot of songwriters, they write about experience. And from what from what you've been telling me, I mean, you experienced a lot from a very young age, man, from going up north and then restaurants and then working, and your parents, putting that work ethic in you, and then finding your talent, and then learning to write the poems and the songs and putting them together. I mean, it's all everything that's happened with you is an accumulation of what you were living in your life, man. And it's incredible, bro.
And I think it's really important what you just said right now about finding your talent, man, because I think even though I started in my 20s, which is kind of not normal or typical for somebody to start singing and writing at that age, because I dabbled, but it's really hard, man, in life to find what you love or something that really moves you. But I truly believe that everybody has something like that in their system. Yeah. Some people are just lucky to find it and be able to make a living out of it. But I think everybody's got a God-given talent, and I believe it. But the hard part is finding it, man, and making it work.
Yeah, and then you find it, and you got to nurture it, and then you got to put everything you've experienced in with it.
No, you got to put the work in. You got to put the hours.
Yeah,
I mean, it really, and it's like a lot of chavalones, nowadays, or No, look, number 8 asked me, like, well, how was it, working with Selena, or how did you start, or what do you tell me, or what advice can you give me? And I usually ask them, what do you love? What is it that you want out of music? What is it? Do you love music, or is it move you? Is there passion behind it? What is it that you want? Why you want to do this? And then when they tell me something like, well, I want to be famous, like, well, you la rega.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's not about that.
It's not about that. And you have to have the right attitude, because if you really don't truly love something, dude, I mean, truly with a passion that you give your life for it, the moment it gets tough, you're going to quit because you don't have the passion for it. And that's the only way you're going to, in this business, or for that matter, even a marriage, man, if you really don't love that person, when it gets tough, you're going to bail. Because why? Because you really didn't love her that much. So you got to be able to hold up to the punches and the criticism and the rejection and no money and working hard and working long nights. And the bad part is that at the end of the day, you could be doing this for 20 years and there's no guarantee that you're going to be successful. That's the hard part to understand. Because you can say, I'm going to put in the time, yes, but just because you put in the time, it might not happen. And that's horrible to think about it that way, but it's the truth, man.
Well, I mean, as long as you know, and you can tell yourself it didn't happen, but it's not because I didn't give it 100%. I mean, you just give it 100%.
No, but I'm saying is, if you love it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you love it, también. Yeah,
if you love it, you're loving it, you're enjoying it at any level, and because you have a passion for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you, did Joe Heather join Selena before you did?
No, we joined together.
Oh, okay. So then both of you joined together. Wow, man, that was something I didn't know.
No. We joined together because, like I said, we had that little duet that we were doing here in Laredo. We were called the Bad Boys. What do you think about that? Sústame 2 times.
Hey, y todavía son los Bad Boys, papá.
Los Bad Boys de Laredo. So, like I said, we did that Bad Boys thing 85 to 87, 86 to 87, más o menos, a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then el bird, el pájaro, el locutor número 2.
Yeah, how's he doing, man?
He's good, man. He's just got that voice, man.
Yeah.
El locutor número 2.
Yeah, from La Carcacha. I remember seeing.
Yeah, La Carcacha, and the intro to the album. And
yeah.
He did some stuff with AB too, man. He did some stuff with AB.
Yeah.
And, well, he's the one that kind of hooked us up, believe it or not, man. We were playing at a flea market on a 110-degree weather Sunday afternoon con el techo de pura lámina.
Talk about paying. Hey, talk about paying your dues, bro.
I'm telling you, man. And we were there playing, dude, for the grand opening of the flea market. I think, as a matter of fact, I think the only that was there was my mom and my grandma and Joe's mom and Joe's grandma were looking at us. And then, pero nos traíamos un ruidazo.
Hey.
So anyway, we had a little break, so I went around the flea market, looking around, and the bird was doing a live remote, promoting the flea market. And he saw me, like, me saludó. We weren't really good friends, but we knew each other, del barrio. And so after he got up done with his remote control that he was doing for the flea market, yo estoy en la Pete, ¿qué andas haciendo? ¿Andas de compras? Dije, no, we're working, man. What are you doing? He goes, I'm singing. He goes, you sing? Dije, yes. Well, I tried. Dije, yeah, we have a little duet, and my camarada Joe. He goes, I'm going to go check you all out right now. What time are you going to play? Dije, so in such time. Ahorita voy para allá. Anyway, long story short, he went and heard us. And he was there, looking at us. And when we finished doing a little set, he goes, dude, Papa, you guys are really good, man. He goes, you guys are really, he was like, I'm freaking out. There's only 2 of you, and you don't even play anything. It's just Joe playing. He goes, but they're un desmadre. He goes, you sound really good, man. You sound really, really good. And he goes, why don't you do the dance halls in town? Why don't you do the
Casablanca?
Scene and all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bird, because nobody will hire me, man. He goes, what do you mean? They go, no, they won't hire us. was wild because I already offered myself to them. And then they find out it's only two of us, so they can't imagine what we can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I already, as a matter of fact, any club here in town, any salon here in town, I've offered myself and for free. And I still got rejected.
Damn.
I swear to God, I'm not kidding. And that's the truth, honest to God. And he goes, you know what, dude? You guys are really good, and you guys deserve a break. He goes, and back in that day, man, he was the DJ for a club called Roxy's. I'm sure you probably went back in that day. No, tú no fuiste para allá.
I remember going to when I was over there. They had some sort of Tejano thing for the Tejano Awards in Laredo, and there was a guy named Roel. I think he was like an Emilio Navaira kind of guy.
Oh, Roel Martinez, camarada.
Yeah, Roel Martinez. And after the event that they did at the Civic Center, wherever it was, he performed that night at some hotel close to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's the Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And the restaurant and the salon next to that bar, that was my brother's place.
Órale, pues, well, ¿cómo se llama? DJ, el locutor número 2, Big Bird, was the DJ there. And I went in there, pues, you know, we're always looking for the party, man, y nos fuimos ahí a porear, y de repente me dicen mi nombre en el micrófono, el DJ, and I was like, who's that? And I went over there, and that's when I met him. And then afterwards, I went to Taco Palenque. Those Taco Palenques, Laredo was the only one with a Taco Palenque, bro. And I went there, I was like, dude, this place needs to franchise, dude. El arroz y toda la comida estaba bruta, bro. Before I know it.
And I'm sure you regret not buying a franchise now.
Yeah, no, and then like in the late 90s, they decided to move to the Rio Grande Valley, open up here, and I was working at KIWW, and they had a guy named Kesey, was his last name, who opened up his own place now, and he, you know, I had to meet him, and he was the guy that was like kind of like opening him up, you know, and I was like, dude, I was hoping you'd bring one here to the Valley, man, yeah.
Well, they're all over the place now, man. They're great, man. They're really good.
Yeah. So that's where I met Locutor número 2 there, man.
Oh, yeah. With Bert, he worked at another club called Roxy's, which was a disco.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, it was right in front of Taco Palenque on San Bernardo. And he said, and he told me, you know what, dude? I work at Roxy. He goes, okay, of course I know Roxy. We go party there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, but on Tuesdays, he goes, we do a Tejano Tuesdays. And he goes, I'm going to get you in, dude. I'm going to get you in. He goes, I don't know if they'll pay you or not. He goes, pero do you want to do it? He goes, yeah, we'll do it. Heck yeah, man. So he got us in, man, on a Tejano Tuesday. It was, and I guess they didn't have a band or something, so they got us in. And of course, it was a slow crowd. Just some of our family members were there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we did do the good thing. We made a good impression on the owners and the managers and whatever. And he goes, man, you guys are really good, man. He goes, I wish there was more people here to see you guys. He goes, you sound really good. And then I think Bird or him said, why don't we bring him in next time there's a big band and they can open up for the band, and then they'll get some exposure, and more than anything, Bird was just being a camarada. It's not like he was trying to get money out of this or anything.
The famous word exposure, right?
Exposure. You know what exposure means? You ain't getting paid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's exposure.
Yeah.
Exposure 101.
Yeah.
So, but yo creo que pasó como un mes o algo así, and Bert called me and he goes, you know what? Selena's playing here. You want to open up for her? Yeah, man. And the thing is, at the time, Selena wasn't, she was still kind of up and coming. I mean, she was very young.
Mm-hmm.
But aquí en Laredo, she did really, really well. And she would, anytime she would play here, she did really well. So I knew who she was. And he goes, do you want to open up for her? He goes, yes, man, heck yeah, we'll open up for her. Definitely. So that's a really long story, but I'll tell you that another time. But bottom line, we met them that night aquí en Laredo. We almost didn't play. There was a lot of touch and go and a lot of confusion, but at the end we ended up playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we met, all of them, because after the show ended, AB came over like, hey, man, you guys are really good. And because he had introduced himself earlier when we were setting up, or I was setting up my rinky-dink equipment, but we really didn't talk. But after they saw us perform, according to them, that's what they say, that when they saw it, they didn't think too much of us because it was only two of us. How much noise can we make?
Yeah.
So actually, we didn't even end up opening up for them. I think Mr. Quintanilla told Bird, you know what? Selena's going to go on at her normal time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When Selena gets off, they can play, 20 minutes, whatever. And so we did that. And according to AB, and back then, they've all used to say that they were walking out of a building because they had finished doing the performance. And then we started playing, and then they stopped. It's like, that can't be them. It's only two guys, and one of them doesn't even play an instrument. So yo was haciendo más ruido que la fregada. And they came back in, and they went into the office, and they heard our little set. And they're like, man, these guys are pretty good. So after the show, that's when AB came up, and of course Selena came up. We're like freaking out. I'm like, oh, you guys were really good. Congratulations. And to me, that was the first sign of humility. Like her, she's a star, and she's coming up to us, rinky dinky little band, telling us that we did good. And bottom line, Abraham came up to so who represents you guys? Again? Nobody. Who does your booking? You're looking at it, nah. And I remember, it's been many, many years, but I could have sworn he said, do you want to work? And I told him, yes, I do, Mr. Quintanilla. He goes, he gave me a card. He goes, give me a call Monday. And
Damn.
I called him that week because this was on a Tuesday, remember? Because it was Tejano Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I called him the following Monday, and he goes, you know what? I want to get you guys to open up for Selena, to do some shows for us. I said, yeah, man, we're down.
And what did Mr. Quintanilla saw two guys and said, man, I don't have to pay a full band for these guys.
No, he did it for exposure.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine him seeing that? I mean, that's just like an awesome thought right there, saying these two guys can open up for us, and it's not like carrying an entire group, and you guys were getting the job done. That's smart.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Pretty much. We're getting the job done, and we weren't charging that much, but since it was only two of us, pues todavía nos iba bien.
Mm-hmm.
No nos iba tan mal. And that's pretty much what we started. We started opening up shows for her. This was like in 87, 88, summer of 88, 87, más o menos. So we started opening up shows for her. And that was kind of a rude awakening when we did the first show with them. Because I believe it was Robstown, which is right next close to Corpus Christi.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm thinking, man, te va a poner hasta las chanclas. She's from Corpus. Robstown's right there.
Yeah, it's going to
get
packed.
Say, in my image, I had the image of Laredo. Aquí cuando venía se ponía bueno. So, pues, as a matter of fact, un saludo para toda la raza de Robstown. Several of my band members were from Robstown. Ricky Landeros, Jesse Ibarra. I remember Jesse Ibarra used to play with Selena when I joined. He was a guitar player.
I remember
He's also
that.
from Robstown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, we that was our first gig, and I remember, I had never been to Robstown. I passed through Robstown. I've never really looked for a place in Robstown, and we couldn't find the place, dude. We got lost in Robstown. And back then, there was no cell phones or
no.
How do we get out? So andamos como tontos dando vueltas. And pero ese parece salón. I think that's that. I think that's the one. So finally we pulled in, and of course that was our first regañada for showing up late.
No, hombre.
No, hombre, cállate, asústame, Dad.
So how long did you all open up until the day that they said, you know what, just join the band?
At the end of the year.
At the end of the what?
Of the year.
Oh, yeah?
When we started in the summer, and we would do shows with them. It wasn't like every weekend, like every other weekend, or whenever he would call me. I know we did Robstown, and we did like Houston, and we did San Angelo, and we did quite a bit of shows. But to me, what I was telling you, that there was a rude awakening, because I remember we got there and we were a little late. The dance wasn't going to start yet, but it was I mean, I thought, but I was expecting to see a full parking lot or something, right? No había nada. Entonces, of course, we got in trouble for being late. We got lost. How are you going to get lost in Robstown? We've never been here before. So, so we don't have Google Maps. And so he goes, okay, y'all going to go on at such and such time. You're going to play from this to that time. We were in a little rinky-dinky little van, and we set up our little stuff, and pues sí, ahí estamos afuera en la van, nomás ahí como tontos. Y showtime was coming around, and it was about 30 minutes till showtime. And I was telling Joe, what do you think is happening? He goes, why? Pues no hay nadie. And she goes, are we supposed to play or not? And I remember, I think I asked Mr. Quintana, do you want us to go on? Of course you're gonna go on. Okay. So we went on and we did our thing, and I want to say it was about maybe 5-10 people, and it was a big place. Oh, that same place is still there now. ¿Cómo se llama? El único salón en Babson.
Wow.
Ahorita me acuerdo el nombre.
Yeah,
Pero
we went to a salon in Robstown. Remember, babe?
That's the only one,
Yeah,
and it's a good time.
And they have and they were having country concerts there and stuff like that. And but they weren't having anything particular there. And the guy that had a radio station in Corpus doing a country radio station, he wanted us to play that at that salon, man. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, bro. I forgot the name. El Rancho or something.
Ahorita me acuerdo.
The something ranch or something.
No, is it ranch?
Something like
Ahorita
that.
me acuerdo.
Yeah.
Pero terminamos nosotros. We finish our set, and we get off, and I wonder if they're gonna play. And because we don't know, man. We don't know this business. We're amateurs. We're greener than green, and we're there looking. We're in our van, kind of looking and seeing. And sure enough, man, they're coming out of the bus and they're jumping on stage, and they played, dude. They played, and we did the whole night and the whole 9 yards. And in my mind, I was going like, wow, man, this is like a reality check here. Like, this is like real life. But to me, I mean, there was nobody there, dude. There was I know it's a long time ago, but there was no more than 20 people there, dude.
And Selena was young. Estaba chavala todavía.
Yeah,
Selena,
dude,
bro.
about
Apenas estaba
15,
empezando, bro.
Como 16 años. But the thing that impressed me a lot was like, no matter how many people are there, the show must go on, and let's do it.
Was it called the High Chaparral? Was it called the High
I
Chaparral?
like High Chaparral. The High Chaparral.
Yeah, thank you, Roel Velasquez. Roel Velasquez, he's the one on our chat zone, man. He said, he answered it, man.
I got lost at the High Chaparral. Looking for the High Chaparral, I got lost.
Yeah.
But to me that was very impressive, Rock, porque it really showed me like, wow, man, that's some dedication, and that's some, I mean, it takes some guts, man, to go up and play for very little people, and on top of that, they put on a show that they were playing for 2,000 people.
That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got. Five. If you have 5 people, you play like there's 50,000 people, bro. You know what I mean? That's.
And to me, that was very impressive. I was very impressed with the whole band, with the whole organization. Like I said, I've learned so much from. That was my school, Selena Dinos was my school, and it was. I mean, I was extremely impressed.
You know what we call those shows, man? When I'm with my guys and we have like a very small crowd, we call them a glorified rehearsal. Yes,
exactly.
Hey, this is where we perfect our show. You do it.
Or if you want to make it sound even better, say just call it a paid rehearsal if you're under a guarantee.
yeah, paid rehearsal. Yeah,
if you went for the door, que no hombre, cállate, shut up.
Hijo, su pobre promoter, bro.
Yeah. But that's when we started, man, and then we kept doing shows all the way through that year, to the ending of the year. And I believe it was Christmas Day or Christmas Eve into Christmas Day at the Crown Royal in Midland, Texas. We were opening up for them también allá. I remember the night ended. Of course, we were helping out, with our equipment and stuff like that. And then AB asked to talk to me and Joe. And gee, well, what did we do this time? you know. So AB, the son, not Abraham. So AB goes like, let me talk to you guys. And he takes us into the restroom. And he just started telling us, hey, man, you guys cool here, and you like what you're doing. And, he gave us the whole speech and this and that, and about responsibility and dedication. And this is, and he goes like, well, do you guys want to be part of the Dinos? And I remember looking at Joe like, are you kidding me? and they go, yeah, heck yeah, man.
Did he say for exposure?
Pues, híjole, es lo malo. But he said it really low so we couldn't hear him.
He said it. Did he say for exposure? There's that word again, man.
So we officially became part of the Dinos that night.
Wow.
And of course the deal was we were going to be, Joe was going to come in and play keyboards. There would be double keyboards. It would be Ricky Vela, Joe Hera. And I was going to come in and help Selena, because, they did long sets, man. And they were working a lot back then, man.
Yeah.
So, AB thought, you can come in, do a couple of songs, and, do like a little bit of everything, animador, y todo eso. And, of course, we were going to be roadies. He goes, you have to be roadies and musicians just to make up for the whole thing. Yeah, I was cool with that, man. Like, we'll do it. So I remember that, because usually at the end of the year we would take a vacation, and I remember that vacation. We started practicing with them, and AB started, let's do a couple of these songs and do this song, blah blah blah, blah. And that's how we kind of got incorporated into the Dinos.
Did AB know about your songwriting talent when he asked you to join the band, or did that happen later after you? You know
what? I don't think he did. But the thing is, it was kind of funny because I think even before we joined, when we were on the road with him, like opening up, we kind of hit it off really. Well, I hit it off with everybody, but for some reason there was like a little connection with him. There was like a little click, and I remember him telling me about a song that he was writing and stuff, and he goes, "And I want to kind of say this and da da da." But how would you say it in Spanish? And I kind of started telling him stuff. Like, oh, that's cool, man, that's cool. So, and we just kind of did a back and forth on one song. And like, oh, wow, yeah, I like that. So, and I don't know if it was Besitos. I think it was Besitos. I could be wrong, but it was one of the first ones we wrote, or I co-wrote with him. And he kind of threw stuff at me, and I was capturing it really quickly and throwing stuff back at him in Spanish, and it really clicked. So from that moment on, he kind of started asking me like, "Oh, can you help me with this song? I do this. I'm gonna do this. Let's work on this." And then it was a big writing team. And of course, at the time he was writing mostly with Ricky Vela, and he was doing more. They were doing most of the writing, and they had some outside writers. But and then at that point, I came into the picture, and I started writing with him too. And I started, it was just a collaborative. It was a good team, man.
I did an interview. Yeah, I did an interview with Chris Perez, and he mentioned that when you came into the band, that he just he was just amazed at your lyric writing, at your phrasing and your wording. That it brought in a whole different element to Selena and Los Dinos as far as the song structures and the song stuff. You know what I mean? The lyrics.
Yeah. No, but dude, I'm extremely grateful for him saying that and humbled. But I think we were just a really good team, and cada quien tenía su lugar.
Yeah.
And I think I see it like a puzzle, man. They had a great band. And there was a couple little things, when Joe came in, he added a lot of, because we were cumbieros aquí de la frontera. We had a lot of influence from Mexico. And I think that's what Joe brought, that Mexican influence. Because they were more Tejano, like hardcore Tejano. And, Joe brought in that, cumbiero feel. And like me, I was more, when I would write, I was more like a baladista. I wrote love songs more than anything, or at least, they weren't famous, but anything that I was writing at the time was very on the love side. love songs, and I think I just clicked with AB really quick, and for that matter, I think we all clicked really well. And then the same thing with Chris. When Chris came in, he brought in a completely different element. It was a different monster with the guitar and the solos and his style and everything. So I think everybody came in and added something different to the foundation that existed already, because they were together before we were there,
Yeah, the band absolutely evolved, man, with the musicians.
Yeah, and of course, like Ricky Vela, man, Jesus Christ, he's an incredible songwriter.
No Me Queda Más, bro, was like one of my favorite
songs.
Monster.
Yeah. I always tell a story about that song because when Ricky sent that song to Mas, believe it or not, Ricky and I wrote a song called Estúpido Romántico.
Yes.
And then we had written something else, and I was going to send them that. We were going to send that to Mas. And because the thing is, I wanted to give it to Selena, but I thought it was too harsh, And I think I did show it to AB, and I think he thought it was too harsh, for her. Which I believe it. The word estúpido is not used very often in songs.
Yeah.
And so when we finished the song, we decided, no, but let's send it to Mas, because they're a little bit more aggressive. They're men. They can handle it. It doesn't look bad on them. And then I think we had another song that we had co-written that we were also sending to them. And then Ricky had showed me No Me Queda Más already. And he said, you know what, I'm going to send him No Me Queda Más. So you're like, wow, man. And I think I told Ricky to give it to Selena instead, but he didn't know. I think Ricky was out, and he knows it, man. I love the guy, and he's talented as hell. But sometimes you need to push him a little bit. He gets a little insecure. Like, dude, it's a monster song, dude. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful. So but then again, not that Mas is chopped liver. So I said, heck yeah, man, send it to Mas. Let's send them all 3 songs. So we sent them the 3 songs, I believe. For sure, it was Super Romántico and No Me Queda Más, and I think an extra one. And they picked up Estúpido Romántico, and they passed on No Me Queda Más. So when they passed on No Me Queda Más, I could give it to AB to show it to Sal. Like, it's a beautiful song, man. It's a beautiful song. So he finally did. Selena recorded it, and I think that was fate, man. I don't think, nobody could have done what she did with it.
I was just going to tell you, like, I don't think anybody could have delivered that song the way Selena did, bro. I mean, and then the strings, when they added the strings, it just gave the song a whole other life. I mean, because the first time y'all released No Me Queda Más, it was just teclados, It was just.
It was more of the style that they were doing.
Yeah.
The arrangement. It was more keyboard oriented, and it's like a mariachi feel, but it was more keyboard. No, but then they went into full production, and then they added strings.
No, hombre, bro.
Todo rock and roll.
As soon as the strings come into the song, it just it overwhelms me, bro, when I hear that song. When how it starts with the horns, and then all of a sudden the strings come in, and that's when it just it hits me right in my heart, man. You know what I mean?
Dude, that song is dude, and I heard that song, dude, before anybody even heard it. I'm talking like raw. When he showed it to me the first time, and he hadn't even finished all the lyrics when he showed it to me. But even the lyrics that he did, I think I was in tears, man. Dude, the guy is beautiful, man.
I would probably imagine so. And
we were in Las Vegas in a bar, and he showed it to me. But my point is, let's say, I think certain songs are destined to be with certain people. I think Estúpido Romántico was destined to be with Mas.
Yep.
And No Me Queda Más was destined to be with Selena.
Yes. Man, isn't that crazy? How God works, how Jesus puts things together, bro, just where they're supposed to be. It's incredible. Yeah. Well,
you know what? And I think we told Jimmy the story later on. The years passed. I think we told him, no, dude, you didn't send us that. He said, I swear to God, we did send it. Ricky said, no way. I swear to God, we did send it. I remember Ricky sending it. Yeah. And he didn't believe me.
No le fuera quedado más, bro. No le fuera quedado esa rola. That's probably why they didn't. It had to be Selena, man. It couldn't have been anybody else doing that song.
It was a perfect connection.
Yeah, it was a perfect connection. And what are you doing now, Pete? We're talking about your music, and there's some people in the chat box asking about royalties and all that stuff. You had said that you got into the publishing of music early on in your career, ¿verdad?
We all did, man. It's the AB, of course. He was the first one. With the family, and then when we started working more, that I started writing stuff with AB and AB with Ricky, and then the combinations would change. And at the time, I think we only had one publishing company, and AB would collect all the royalties and then spread them out. Mm-hmm. Actually, his wife used to do it, and then it got to a point that it got too much guato. And it just got too complicated, and I think that's when he suggested, why don't you all open up your own publishing companies, and that way we can divide everything the way we want to divide it or the way we decide, and then everybody gets paid separately. And we don't have to be splitting here, que esto es tuyo, que esto es mío. And that's probably the biggest blessing in the world that we did that, and we became publishers. All of us, Ricky, myself, Joe, Chris, Mr. Quintana, everybody opened up a publishing company. I'm sure it was at different times, but we all did. And then every time we would do any music, we would register through our, prospective companies.
How important? How important was that in your career, man? That you did that,
dude? It's insanely important, and it's been a blessing from day one, man. Because then our music. At the time, like I said, we weren't doing that well. The sales weren't what they used or what they became. Even the airplay back in the day, man, you've been in radio.
Yeah.
And then it became a monster, And so, it was a huge difference because, you collect the royalties. And it's a blessing.
That is something that a lot of songwriters and singers, they don't understand or realize, the importance of publishing. And that is something that thanks to AB and everybody that was, looking out for each other's back then, between all of you, recommended to each other. And it's like owning the royalties and the rights to your music. Exactly right. I mean, just to give some sort of advice to any upcoming songwriters out there, any artist that's writing music. The importance of the publishing, that they don't understand that. A lot of them don't. And that's how record labels used to take the artists to town.
Well, the thing is, they still do, man. And the thing is, it's the industry's changed so much, man. And it's unfortunate, man. That a lot of the labels, man, they'll take your publishing because it's money. I mean, that's part of the money that goes with the song. And the thing is, when you're starting out, you don't know, man. Mm-hmm. You don't know, and you might do things and music is a career that's driven through passion, man. And sometimes you don't think straight because you're so passionate about it that you say, no, I don't care. I just want my song on the radio. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Keep whatever, do whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that because, I mean, even the big dogs have done it, man. Look at some of these, what is that, Hollywood Story? And you see like Billy Joel got taken bad.
They lose all their money through management and stuff like that.
Yeah. So my point is, when knowledge is key, dude. Knowledge is key, and you have to be a little smart. And you'll make mistakes, man. We all do. Everybody does, man. Mm-hmm. But you need to protect yourself. And the good thing about it now, man, there's so much information on the internet, man.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, back in the day, there wasn't.
No.
We wanted to learn. You went to the school of hard knocks because you really didn't know.
Yeah.
But now, educate yourself. Go to those different websites and just educate yourself. And I know it's the most beautiful thing when you hear your first song on the radio, and it's awesome. It's an incredible feeling. Or the first time you're in the studio, but you do have to protect yourself. I mean, if it's really a career that you want to really. Like I said, and I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not saying that I was really smart and I did all these things. I got very lucky. Mm-hmm. We all got very lucky, We did some of the things that we did, but you need to be careful because, people will take advantage of you if you don't have the knowledge, and that's not a good thing, man. But you just educate yourself, man. And nowadays it's so easy. Well, not easy, but it's the information's out there.
Well, yeah, Pete. And what are you doing now, man? Are you still writing songs for bands and artists?
Dude, I'm still writing, compadre. I descompongo y descompongo de vez en cuando también.
Oye, Pete, yo me he descompuesto contigo, carnal.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Oh, carnal, we had some. That's a whole other show, man. Those freaking adventures we'd go on, man.
Oh my goodness! When you would come down here, or when I would go down the valley.
Nuevo Laredo, bro. Cállate la boca. Shut up. Crazy
that's
times.
When it was fun. It was when it was fun and safe, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got a techno, you have a band, right, or something like that going on?
Yeah, but the thing is, I got out of the business for a good while, and the business, it's got its ups and downs, and you go with the punches, and I more than anything, because my family, I was, taking care of my dad for a good while, and my sister también, so and then of course, like I said, the business, as far as me, or as far as my career, it slowed down. So, I mean, está canijo, man. And to have a full band on the road, and, we had the bus, and get an 18-wheeler. It was hard to make it. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really hard. So this was around 2002, 2003. So I said, you know what? I need I'm not making the money that I want to make. And I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's the industry. I don't know if it's both of us. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break and also take care of my dad. And that's what I did, man, all the way. And then this was about 2003. In 2008, my dad passed away. And then I want to say about a couple of years after that, I started hooking up with Joe Ojeda again. And we started working. We did a rock and roll album, like a classic, like Spanish rock.
Sí.
And that's when we reconnected again. And that's when we kind of started coming up with the idea, let's get the band back together, like him and I. And then, some other friends that I've been doing the studio work with that I'd met through the years that I thought were really great musicians. I said, maybe they're interested. So I talked to Lobo, who's a buddy of mine here, who's also a studio engineer and is a keyboard player. And we started working with him. And then we invited Diego Garcia, who's an incredible guitar player. And then his wife, también, who's a great, great, great singer. And actually, everybody, all of these bands, all of these persons I'm talking about, Joe, Diego, they all do these things on their own. And as a matter of fact, Diego and Sonia de la Paz are doing really good stuff right now. They got some really good music going on. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we got a band together and we started doing shows. And this year, we thought we were going to have a killer year, man, because, we were getting a bunch of calls for different shows. And, of course, it was Selena's 25th anniversary of her passing. So there was a lot of things happening, dude, and it just kind of threw a wrench and todo, man. So we had new music that we were going to release, early on, like around March, April. We never got around to it, and we just didn't know, man. We were like, is this going to last a month? Is it going to last 2 months? I think we're all in limbo. And now we haven't played like everybody else. And I got new music, God willing, stuff that I did with Technomex. As a matter of fact, it's a song that I recorded with Eric from Grupo Masora that we're planning on releasing. And I have another 2 singles that we're going to release, hopefully before the end of the year.
Okay.
And hopefully, get a little momentum going, and maybe 2021 will be better for all of us.
That's what we got to look forward to, Pete. Man, hell yeah. And it is going to be better for all of us.
No, si Dios quiere, así va a ser.
Sí,
Mira,
sí.
Tiene que ser. We have to declare it. It's going to be a good year for all of us.
Yeah. It is.
We will beat this. We got to be smart about it and just be smart about it, and get through this. It's been a test, I think, on all of us, man. It's that pandemia no discriminó a nadie, and everybody got a taste of it, man. And I personally have lost several relatives,
Yeah,
through
no.
this pandemic.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
So
But
it's
and Laredo was kind of like the first town that had deaths, COVID deaths. Before the Valley, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, Laredo had like the first death, man. That was close by.
Yeah, and I remember, dude. I remember putting on the mask. I sort of I still think about it, and I'm gonna put a mask to go to HEB. What the hell, man? And I remember one of the first times that I went to HEB, and I see a line. See, I'm gonna stand in a line to go to HEB with a mask.
Pete.
What the heck is going on?
Oye, Pete, ¿se te acabó el toilet paper or no, Dad?
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. I said, I can't believe I'm making a line to buy toilet paper. I'm making a line to buy milk. I'm making a line to buy eggs. And it was like nuts. I swear to God, I took videos because this is insane.
Yeah. And especially si eres
stuck up.
Stuck up. Y si te gustan los baby wipes, papá, en vez de toilet paper, cállate la boca, shut up, Dad.
Dude, there's no baby wipe, there's no Clorox wipe, there's no Clorox, nothing.
Yeah, man.
But
no.
And I think it's you know what? What's happening is horrible, and my heart goes out to anybody out there that lost a relative or is somebody in the hospital.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, as if two of my siblings had it, and they came out fine. One of them was in the hospital, but I did lose two uncles and an aunt to this, man. So it is horrible, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we will get through it, but I think this has shown us. It has given us a little bit of humility, man. Porque, we need to appreciate the little things, the toilet paper,
Yeah.
I mean, the things that you don't even think about, dude. They became so important. I mean, so I think it's been a slap in the face, but we have to learn from it. Learn from it, and it humbled us, dude.
Yeah.
It humbled the heck out of all of us. I mean, and it's really... It's a tough lesson, but hopefully we learn something from it now.
Orale. Hey, Pete, well, we appreciate you, man, spending some time with us. Before you leave, we have this segment that we do. It's called Hashtag PBT's Top 5 Questions, and we're going to do Hashtag PBT's Top 5 Questions with Pete Astudillo, Daddy. Now that we finally got him and not his voicemail.
Yes, we're all excited about that.
So these are real quick questions.
Compadre, I swear to God, I don't know what every time that you call, like right now, you said you called, the phone didn't ring. Then I look at my phone and it says missed call. Like, what the heck, man?
That happens to me, but my wife never believes me, bro.
Dude, I'm singing a song about that right now, dude. About the missed calls and the missed texts.
Yeah. Well, question number 1: who's your favorite singer, man?
Wow, man, that's a good one. One of them that I know had a major influence on me is Jose and Jose Alfredo.
Orale. Jose Alfredo Jimenez, man, great music.
And but Jose was like my biggest idol, man.
Orale. Number 2, what's your favorite rock band?
U2.
U2. Orale. Is Joshua Tree probably your favorite album?
Actually, I like the early stuff, man. Even the earlier stuff, man.
Yeah. The War, U2 War, and Josh.
Yeah, man.
But Joshua Tree, dude.
No, Joshua Tree was cool too, man. But I don't know, for some reason, I'm more like the old stuff.
Orale. What's your favorite fast food?
Well, that's probably pizza, man. I guess that's it. Even bad pizza's good pizza sometimes.
What's your favorite Selena song?
Dude, that I wrote or that she sang?
No, that she sang.
No, it's not even the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite ones.
It's got to be your favorite. I mean, your favorite song. The song that you like. It's like it's.
I'm trying
it's
that.
Selena.
Espérate that. I mean, como la Flores, I love como la Flor, man. Como la Flores, I always say como la Flores, you know Adele, right?
Yeah.
Of course, right?
Uh-huh.
That's it. Como La Flor was Selena's Adele song before Adele was even born. Because, that song, I wish you the best and all that thing, that's what Selena did in that song. Yo sé que tienes un nuevo amor, sin embargo, te deseo lo mejor. Yeah. It's Adele, man.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, man. Awesome. And that's that's got to be one of her top songs, man, for sure. All right. The last question. What's your favorite scene in the Selena movie? Hey, dude, let me tell you before you answer that. Yes, they've been our chat zone is just like if you have a YouTube account, go and watch the show later and go through the chat zone, dude. Me traen al puro pedo a mí because I'm saying yeah. They're counting the times I say yeah, and then they were talking about, hey, call. They were saying because you were talking and somebody put, hey, háblale a Mr. Quintanilla para que le diga to shut up, like in the movie. Hey, they're cold-blooded, vato.
They're terrible. No, hombre, compadre.
Son bien cagaleros, carnal. But honestly, dude, you had that one. That was one part that you had that's very memorable. That's probably one of the. Okay.
That's gonna be my favorite line because they told me that the first time I say something, they tell me to shut up.
Yeah. 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 So when you're watching that movie, which is the part of the movie that really has an impact on you, man?
All the movies. It's all the movie. It's a great movie, man.
It is.
And I was extremely blessed to be part of it. Of course, the Quintanilla family, Mr. Quintanilla, they allowed me to be part of it. And in my wildest dreams that I think I was going to be in a Hollywood movie. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I had to audition for my part, believe it or not.
See?
They did a screen test on me.
See.
And then after they did it, the director goes like, lose 15 pounds.
Oh, no.
Corrajo, te meditas al gym, Dad?
See, but man, all the movies great, man. It's really hard because for different reasons. Because I was lucky enough to have lived the real story, and then I was lucky enough to recreate it with incredible artists like Jennifer and Edward James Olmos, and I befriended them, and it was incredible. So it was, of course, you can't compare it to the original. But the movie, man, it was so well made. I really can't. I really can't pick one, man. It's really hard. The whole movie, man, it's impactful for different. Because one moment you'll be laughing your butt off, and the next moment you're crying your butt off, and the next moment you're freaking out for what's going on. So every moment was impactful to me. It was an incredibly done movie.
Orale. Another question that came out in our chat zone is they were asking if that they don't remember seeing you on the Astrodome show with Selena.
I didn't. The thing is, in 1994, that's when I broke up. Well, you broke up. Not 100%, but I started doing solo shows as Pete Astudillo.
And Mr. Quintanilla had taken you under his wing as well with that, right? Or no?
No. That was his idea.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, towards the latter part of '93, I remember we had a discussion with him where we had a little meeting, and he goes, "You know what, Pete? I think it's time." Because the whole thing was that Joe and I were going to join Selena and los Dinos. We were going to get about a year exposure through them. Exposure again, and then he was gonna make a full band for both of us, and he was gonna manage us. But then 1 year turned into two, and two into three, three into four, four into five, and at that point, the band was kicking ass, and we were having the time of our lives that we didn't even think about it anymore. But then when he did, like in the latter part of '93, because I already had released 2 albums by myself as Pete Astudillo, with the Dinos backing me up. And that's when he said, "You know what? I think it's time that we, you are going to make your own band." He goes, "We're going to do the same thing. You're going to be opening up for Selena, and like that." So when we started in '94, I was playing as Pete Astudillo, and I will open up for Selena. And it was kind of cool because some of the first shows I would finish my set, and I would go change, and I'd jump on the stage with the Dinos.
That's
But-
yeah,
but
that's
to the
what I was
latter-
wondering. I mean, I know they had Freddie and they had Shelton at the Astrodome.
But once they came in, then it became a completely separate thing. They would invite me and stuff, but my point is, in '94 I was doing shows by myself, and then at that time they were doing shows by themselves too. So that's why I'm not at the Dome.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it would have been awesome. It would have been awesome to have you there, bro.
Dude, trust me, dude. In hindsight, I wish I would have never left, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the time of my life.
Well, besides
Don't get me
that,
wrong,
I mean, look, if you would have had your solo career, but if you would have made an appearance on stage with her there, it would have been really cool, man, because you're an original
it would have
guy,
been
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
No, it would have been awesome. And like I said, we still did things together because, Abraham was manager.
Mm-hmm.
So he would still, if the Dinos were doing a big show somewhere and he could stick my band in, of course he would do it.
Mm-hmm.
So as a matter of fact, we did a little tour where it was myself and the Barrio Boys and Selena. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's when they did the Barrio Boys little tour, I think that's when they got the idea about getting Freddie Correa and then calling Don Shelton.
The Barrio
was
Boys
a
were
backup
great, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they were one of the awesome. And you know what? The album that you recorded, the very first one, I love it, bro. The one that has Despeinado, Un hombre
Porque
busca
le
una
gusta
mujer.
bailar cumbia.
Yeah.
Pues see, I recorded that in '92, man. That was like 92, 91, 92. So I was doing solo work, but I was still para los Dinos. And then I did the second one in '93, and then the third one, which is the one that probably done the best for me, was we did it a year after Selena passed in '96, which was Como Te Extraño.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
the Como Te Extraño is basically the song that, that's Pete Astudillo. That's the Pete Astudillo. But, man, people, if you haven't heard his first album, you need to listen to it. It's got Un hombre busca una mujer. Man, he did a fantastic job with that song. And all the other songs on there are great, man.
No, the production on it was awesome, but it was the Dinos doing it. It was Amy and Ricky and Joe and I mean Chris and it was everybody. And then we would get in guest musicians on that first album, dude. That's Jay Pettis singing background vocals.
Really, dude? I didn't know
swear to
that.
God.
Jay Pettis
I
singing
swear to
backups?
God.
Wow, bro. That's something I never knew. Wow. Oh, yeah.
It's either the first. Hold on, let me see. The first or the second. It's either the first or the second. Because I know Chente Barrera did some background vocals too.
Good voice, Chente también has one.
We worked with some of these incredible music. We used to work with David Lee and Chente Barrera and of course Jay Pettis. Jay Pettis did it that I think it was. If you listen closely, listen to my first album.
I want to listen to
I think it is the first album. Listen closely. You can hear. I mean, you cannot not hear Jay Pettis' voice, man. It's incredible.
I'll listen to it. Hey, and then after that first album, you decided to cut off the mullet, dude, right?
No, after the second, dude.
Oh, the second, because I'm seeing an album here cover. It's Pete Astudillo's greatest hits, and your mullet's gone.
No, the mullet came off in 90.
That was a massive mullet, dude. You had one of the most... Estaba bruto el pinche mullet que tenías, carnal. Con madre.
You know what? I'm bringing the mullet back, vato. Hashtag bring back the mullet.
Yeah, I dare you, bro. No, you know what? You'd probably start a whole new fad again.
But to be honest with you, right now, I'm not too far from it, dude. My hair is long as hell. I haven't cut my hair since March.
Hey, bro, be thankful that you've got hair, dude. I need hair, bro. Remember my hair back then in the 90s? It ain't there anymore, bro.
I do remember your hair, man.
That was crazy, dude. Hey, well, Pete, let me let you go, man, because it's getting kind of late, but we got to do this again, man, and talk about some, because you've got so much other stuff that, man, some stories and some history, bro. No,
compadre, thank you so much. We go back a long way, and you've always been kind. But not just to me, man, back from the Dinos day, man. I see all those interviews, and it cracks me up when I see those interviews with Selena and the band, and when I went and did my solo thing. But you're a good friend. You've always been supportive. Thank you. And to all the raza que has always been supportive, thank you so much, man, for all the blessings that they've given me. And But be looking up any music. We got some music coming out. You can follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram, Pete Astudillo Official. And but we got some new music coming out. Because we had put it on hold because of this whole thing. But I think we're going to release it now, man. We got about 2 or 3 singles que vamos a sacar. Si Dios quiere, uno con Eric y Grupo Mazore, del Grupo Mazore. And I got 2 of the songs. One of them has to do with the pandemic. We're trying to give a little humor in a positive way and put out a positive message with a little bit of humor and a little rhythm.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Pete.
Pendientes. Follow me on Instagram and check me out on Facebook, and you'll be keeping up with us. So you keep up with us.
And whatever you need from me or from us, bro, we're here for you. And then when you do start, being able to get out and stuff, maybe you can we can sit down at your house or sit down over there in Laredo, or you can come down here and we can sit down and do something one-on-one in person, because I really feel like seeing you in person, bro. I haven't seen you in a long time.
It'd be great, man. Pero para toda la raza de todo el Valle, McAllen, Westlaco, Ed Couch, asústame, Dad. Todos los frijoles borrachos allá, los frijoles románticos.
Yeah.
El Turi, toda la raza de
Lucky,
Prensa.
Lucky.
Epi, Lucky.
Yeah.
Toda la raza de Valle. I got some really, really good friends in the Valley. Pero donde sea que estén escuchando, de parte de Pete Astudillo, muchísimas gracias por tantos años de cariño y de apoyo.
Órale, carnalito. God bless you, man. Have a good evening,
God bless
okay?
you, compadre. Have a good one. Have a good night.
Órale, ándale.
Asústame 2 times, Dad.
Órale. Oh, man.
Wow.
That was a long time. I mean, me and Pete, we would, I'd go to Laredo. And I'd look him up right away, and I'd call him like, hey, man, I'm going to be there next week or whatever. And it's a Thursday, because it's a boxing thing, and I would do it Thursday. And, who goes out and raises hell on a Thursday, as bad as we did,
You guys.
And
just you.
we'd meet up somewhere, and we wouldn't, and then I'd get to my room at 8 in the morning and drive back to the Valley and be on the radio at 3 p.m. I mean, it was crazy, but we had so many good times, and his music, man, it's just great. His voice. This is a song from Luis Miguel. Un hombre busca una mujer.
Que sea casi miel, que sea tanto amor. Yo lo escribo en un cartel. Un hombre busca una mujer.
Is that Jay Pettis there singing it?
Sounds like it.
Que va como loca por la vida.
I remember this one right here.
Ooh, I like that one.
Those are the ones you like, baby.
Yes.
And that's Los Dinos.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing all the music. That's what he said. You can tell. I mean, I could.
Viernes, sábado y domingo.
Maybe that's Selena in the background there.
Tú la puedes encontrar en cualquier salón de baile.
I bet you that's Selena doing backups there. I like this one right here. This was one of my favorite songs. It sounded really big.
No estés triste si un amor hoy te dijo adiós y rompió con tus planes. Yo sé que es un golpe duro.
Ganar o perder is the name of this one.
Y tu mundo se parte. Son las cosas que tiene el amor.
Right here, right here.
Ganar o perder.
I think that's Stephanie Lynn doing the backups, I think. Yeah.
Ganar o perder.
And of course, the song that he's all well known for. Como te extraño. We want to thank you all for joining us tonight, man. And I want to thank Nano Ramirez for talking with us as well about the concert industry. And Pete Astudillo for answering the phone.
Yes.
Yeah. It was just an amazing evening, man. I could talk to Pete forever,
Qué difícil es decirte adiós. Como te extraño.
Tuesday Night Live, number 18, was brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men, IV vitamin infusion therapy, testosterone COVID test, Sermorelin. Ask for the Sermorelin. Also, on Thursdays, they have for women as well. Dr. T's Primary Care for Women. It's the best in men's health and women's health. 956-441-2188 is the number. And also the law office of Rene Flores. Hashtag DWI expert. 956-316-1991 is the number. 956-316-1991. Put his number in your contacts, all right? And we're going to leave you with a word from our sponsors as well, and we want to thank you for joining us. And we'll see you on Thursday at 6 o'clock, okay? We're going to have Throwback Thursday mix. And then we'll have the Rockin' Chaz, okay? We're going. We're gonna head on out. Thank you so much. God bless you. And we'll leave you with these words from our sponsors.
In response to our current COVID-19 situation, Dr. T's Primary Care is offering discounted prices on our IV vitamin infusion therapy for all frontline workers, law enforcement, and any male or female patient looking to improve their immune system. Not only do we offer PCR testing for COVID, but we also offer safe and natural solutions to improve your health. Call 956-441-2188 and ask about our discounted IV vitamin infusion therapy. Follow us on Facebook for up-to-date information. Call 956-441-2188.
I think whenever you have the restriction of people moving around from their home, you're going to see a drop in certain types of crimes. In this case, I've seen a significant drop off in individuals being arrested for drinking and driving. We've also seen an uptick in possession of drug cases. You have individuals who are now abusing drugs at home. They're restricted from working. Alcohol, drugs, depression, all those things kind of set in. We've seen an uptick in domestic abuse cases, solicitation of minors, crimes against minors, violation of protective orders. If you suspect that somebody is a victim of domestic abuse, I suggest that you call our district attorney's office and find out what type of resources are out there. I've also posted on my website certain articles and certain resources that are available to also individuals who are victims of abuse. And if you suspect somebody, if you have a friend who you believe is a victim and they're afraid to speak out, these are resources that are also available to them that you can advocate on their behalf. We definitely are concerned for the victims of the cases, yet in the same breath, those have been accused of those crimes, we still offer our services to those individuals as well. Another important thing I want to mention is the fact that many people during these times are dealing with depression. Again, we've isolated ourselves from other individuals. Human contact is very important for our self-esteem, for our well-being, and so if you do know somebody that is suffering from some sort of depression, I urge that you give them a call. During these times, we need to be able to reach out to individuals who we know that may have certain mental health issues and make sure they're doing all right. Isolation, quarantine can be tough on an individual, especially if you don't have that human interacting going on. Our office has remained open, although our doors are locked and closed. We do have signs at the door to be able to say, hey, look, we're still here, we're still working, but yet we're still trying to take the proper safety precautions to protect everybody. If you or your loved one has been accused of a crime, you need an experienced attorney. You need to call my office at 956-316-1991.